Cunegin. I am so excited to have the opportunity to be with you this morning. I want to thank Shay and Trevor for the opportunity to be a part of the Operation Wow with George C. Frazier. Excellent morning, Mr. Frazier. Listen, audience, I am really excited about what's about to take place. What's about to take place is transformation. Transformation for me, because every time I share this presentation, I hear something differently. And transformation for you, because if you're watching, that means that you are working on you. Today, I'm going to share with you how to follow your yellow brick road. That's right. We're going to get into all of that. What I mean by that, how you can do it. You need paper, you need a pen. Actually, you need a notebook, because you're going to be referring back to these notes in the coming days and months. Remember, I said days because we don't have any more time to waste. Are you excited? I am. Are you ready? I am. So let's get started. It's so wonderful to have an opportunity to be able to connect with individuals such as yourself. No matter what, you are working towards getting to the next phase and destiny track of your life. So here we go. This morning we're going to talk about personal and professional alignment, following your yellow brick road. What do I mean by that? Did you know before you entered into your mother's womb, before your parents got together, you had already been determined what your track was going to be, and the success that you were created to have had already been determined. I know, you may be thinking, you may even been saying, Fredrica, you don't know my life. I don't. By the way, you're welcome to call me Freddie. I don't know what your life track has been. And mine is my story, and yours is your story. But guess what? You and I still have the opportunity to fulfill our heart's desire. So are you ready? Let's talk about following your yellow brick road, dreaming big. So how do you do that? When we talk about the personal and professional, one cannot be successful without the other. Our personal lives have a direct connection with our professional lives. You may be thinking, well, Fredrica, I've gone to school, or Freddie, I've gone to school, I've obtained higher education, I'm beating the pavement, I'm working really consistently, I'm working on myself. All of those things are good. Hold your course. Do not stop. But you and I must understand that our personal lives and the character and the qualities of our character are a direct relation, must be directly correlated with our professional lives. So let's talk about the difference. When I talk about our personal life, I'm talking about the character development, I'm talking about the integral development, and I'm talking about ethical development. Does that mean that you and I won't make wrong decisions? It doesn't mean that we won't, because we will. The most important piece about that is that we don't stay where those bad decisions may take us, may lead us. You and I must pull ourselves up. We must brush ourselves off, and we must keep it moving. Learn from the lessons of the decisions that were made that did not profit you. That's what I'm doing every day. I'm learning from the lessons, from the decisions that I've made that did not produce a profit, or at least a tangible profit. Because if nothing else, the profit of those bad decisions should yield what we're not going to do again. So from that perspective, it's a profit. When we talk about the personal component of who we are, we must give attention to, what do I want people to see when they look at me? Ask yourself that question. When people look at me, what do I want them to see? Do I want them to see the person who has a lot of energy, who has a lot of drive, who has presence, who has character, who will do the right thing whether someone sees them or not, who has fortitude, who has the wherewithal not to give up. Is that what you want people to see when they look at you? That's the personal side. Now, the professional side is this. We must know our craft. Let's say that right now you're still working for an organization, which is a great thing. Everyone who has employment today is a blessed person. So let's say that, but you have dreams and goals and aspirations to be an employer yourself. So what's most important is that where you are right now, you are effective in establishing an exceptional craft. That's right. You want to make sure that the skill sets that you need to be effective where you are right now are always being sharpened. Do you remember? I know I'm dating myself, but when you and I were in elementary school, those were baby boomers, and we raised our hand to go to the Pilsner sharpener. We had to take our hand and turn this instrument in a cyclical fashion in order to make change to the lead pencil. Well, that's what we are doing. We are taking hold of our lives, and we are putting our lives through an instrument called life, and we are allowing our lives to be pressed through every experience that we have so that the optimum person, both personally and professionally, comes out on top. So again, personal alignment, ensuring that the character and the distinctive characteristics and qualities of who you are comes out with a distinctive, polished presentation of how you want people to see you. From a professional perspective, you and I want to make sure that our craft is simply unique and that it is progressive and that it is today. We don't want our craft for 2014 to reflect 1995. That won't be good. Our craft must reflect the 21st century, 2014. We must put ourselves in the company of the George Frazers. We must put ourselves in the company of the Shays and the Trevors, and put your name in there. People must put themselves in the company of, say your name. That's right. People must put themselves in the company of Fredrica. Why? Because we are consistent and we are purposeful in building and developing our personal and professional lives. Now, alignment, what does that mean? It means that you and I must position ourselves in agreement. Our personal and our professional lives must be positioned so there is agreement. You and I never want our talents, we never want our crafts, our skills to take us where our character can't keep us. Everybody's with me? All right, excellent. Let's keep going. Now, how to balance both the personal and the professional life. You see here this image that says it's an element of wellness. Well, there are facets of life that we must be mindful of, that we must be knowledgeable of, and that we must incorporate in our lives to show balance. As you see it in the presentation that we're talking about, environment. Are you environmentally friendly? Are you environmentally educated, environmentally aware as it relates to your craft, your skill, your profession? Are you intellectually stimulated? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? Is it consistent? Remember, I just mentioned we can't have a 1995 structure, developmental structure, and we're in the 21st century. Our intellectual stimulation must align with our profession, our respective profession in the 21st century. Socially, you and I must be mindful. I cannot stress this. We must be mindful of our social environments, our social gatherings, our social conversations. You and I know that today, pictures can be taken of us unaware. So as you and I work to develop who we want individuals to recognize us to be, we must always position ourselves so that we will never, ever be tripped up or cut off guard. You may be thinking, Fredrica, now come on. Really? Really? You and I have the ability to do it. You know what? Think of it this way. As a parent, you don't know that you have parental skills until you become a parent. Until there is a baby, there is a child, there is a senior, someone that you now are responsible for. Guess what's going to kick in instinctively? The necessary skill sets that are pertinent to make sure that the individual that you are now responsible for, that I'm now responsible for, is taken care of. See what I'm saying? The same holds true as we give attention to the various aspects of life to reflect wellness in every area. You and I must have a spiritual developed connection. We must know that internally who we are, what we were created to be. I'm a Christian. So what I'm talking about for me, I know who I am. I know why I was created. I know that I was created to be effective, to change lives on purpose so that I will not miss a beat in fulfilling my destiny track. I need you to sit and give pause to that for yourself. Make sure that occupationally you can't be replaced. That if you were to leave your place of employment, a huge gap would exist. This is very important in the developmental process, both from a personal and a professional perspective. Let's keep going. When we talk about personal alignment, where is your anchor? That's a pause type of question, isn't it? Where is your anchor? Do you have a dream that is big enough to maintain your focus? Let me ask the question a different way. How big is your why? Is your why effective enough that no matter what, no matter how many disappointments, how many no's, no matter how many setbacks, no matter how big is your why? What keeps you anchored to maintain personal development? What keeps you anchored to maintain structure, to maintain discipline, to maintain engaging with the right people, with the right crowd? You know what? You and I should have people in our lives that's pulling us up. And we should have people in our lives that we are pulling up. Why is that important? Because it keeps us focused of giving and receiving. Isn't that good? When you're helping someone else to move from point A to point B, you're giving. And when you are allowing someone else to pull you up, you're receiving. And that anchor will not move. It won't. When that is happening, it will not move. Why is that? Because accountability is in place. You and I are making ourselves accountable to someone who is looking up to us and to someone who is looking to pull us up. Doesn't that make sense? So ask yourself the question. This is another pause question. We're still talking about following your yellow brick road. So ask yourself the question. Where are and what are your personal anchors that will keep you focused? For instance, I'm full of for instances. Here we are. I think we're getting ready to experience spring and summer. I said that facetiously. But here we are. We're about to experience spring and summer. So what happens in the springtime? We love being outside. We exercise. We have cookouts. We fellowship. So in the spring, you and I have a different mindset about our presentation, about how we present ourselves. In the springtime, hopefully, you and I are working out. We're eating better. Why is that important? It's a part of the personal alignment. It's a part of having an opportunity to make impact in the lives of others. For you see, everything that you and I do moving forward in order to be successful in fulfilling our yellow brick road has to be mindful of knowing that others are watching, others are depending on us, others are listening, others are watching long and hard enough to determine if that is someone, if you are the person that they are mimicking. Make sense? Excellent. So again, ask yourself, what are your personal anchors? Is it faith? Is it your dreams? Are they your dreams? Are they your family members? Is it your heritage? Is it your culture? Is it your friends? Is it your children? What keeps you in maintaining personal development? How big is your why? Let's keep going. Now, from a professional perspective, you and I just mentioned this, we must have mentors. You may be thinking, Freddie, to have a mentor, I have to be vulnerable. Exactly. That's correct. You have to have someone in your life that you trust and that you know they're not going to mislead you. They're going to push you. They're going to make you get beyond that place of average, get beyond that place of excuses, get beyond that place of procrastination, get beyond that place of not having personal motivation. That's what a mentor is going to do. They're going to make you move from where you are now. Let me put a pause here. They can't make you do anything. Nobody can make adults do anything. But they're going to be really intense because you went to them. You identified them. So they're going to be really intense in helping you to get to where you said you want to go. You need to connect with associations of your profession. Again, if you're currently an employee, you need to be making yourself as available as possible, in the workplace to build and to grow and to develop your skills. Connect with individuals, identify individuals in the workplace who are in the profession that you're in, but who have exceeded beyond where you are and where you want to go. That person is going to give you insight from a perspective perhaps you've not even considered. And that person is going to cause a thought process like none other for you that will cause you to think of some things, purchase some books, ask some questions, develop some questions. You see where I'm going? Make you consider, maybe I should go take a class. Maybe I should take a speaking course. Maybe I should become a part of the association of ABC. Not the network, but example, ABC. You fill in the blanks of what that association is. The goal is to ensure that as you maintain and identify your personal anchors, that you have the same exercise taking place on the professional side. What are your professional anchors? Who are your professional anchors? Are you doing your 9 to 5 ritual and getting off from work, driving home, getting home, laying your keys down, taking your shoes off, and pick up the next hat, take off the day hat? Not enough. There is so much more attached to your name and your life. So in our professional and our personal development, it's going to cause us to become efficient in our time, with our time. That's right. You may be thinking, well, Freddie, what does time management have to do with personal and professional alignment? Everything. Everything. For you see, you and I have to be effective in planning and connecting with the other associations that you are identifying right now that you need to be a part of. You're going to think about perhaps some people who you've been watching afar off and how it appears to you that their life is just moving. And if you pursue to have a conversation with one of them, at least one of them, what you're going to hear are results of time management. You're going to hear how they're getting a lot of things done within the exact same amount of time that you and I are given every day. Each of us have 24 hours a day to work with. We each have to decide, how efficient am I in those areas? We need to identify, I'm efficient in this area, I'm efficient in this area, I'm efficient in this area. However, I need to make some adjustments in these areas and then put it all together so that as we begin the process of unfolding, like peeling back an onion, without the tears, of course. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But peeling back those onions to getting to those places that we really need to make adjustments in order to obtain and maintain success. So let's keep going. So here we are. Do you remember The Wizard of Oz? Of course you do. Well, Dorothy was so excited that she was told if she got on the yellow brick road, her yellow brick road, that she would get back to Kansas. So at this juncture, the yellow brick road looks pretty good, don't you think? Okay, so she has the basket, she has Toto, she has the red shoes. So there's support, there's familiarity, there is comfort. Everything seems to be working. Everything seems to be going along just fine. And then, now, the real work begins. As you can see, she's on the yellow brick road. You and I really are on our yellow brick road. But it doesn't always stay or look or appear to be so nice and neatly reflected, does it? Then life happens. Life happens. And when life happens, in some instances, we want to backpedal. Remember, I asked you, how big is your why? Your why and my why has to be bigger than what life presents. As you can see in this picture, the yellow brick road is still visible, but it's been flooded. And some of the bricks have been flooded. And they've been detached from that beautiful former picture of the yellow brick road. But let me ask you this question. Just because you have experienced a tragedy, perhaps, or trauma, perhaps, or death, perhaps, or loss of job, loss of your home, does that mean that you are to let go of your yellow brick road dream of a lifetime? Absolutely not. You have to decide that regardless of what life presents, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of the pain, the disappointment, the tears, the frustration, the anxiety, the setback, regardless of that, your why is big enough that you are not going to be deterred from finishing your course. Did you hear what I said? I'm talking to you. You can't give up. You can't stop. You got to push beyond the flood. Your vision has still, it must be crystallized on the canvas of your imagination. While you cannot externally see it, internally, you must maintain the vision of your dream. You must maintain the vision of getting to your destiny, just like Dorothy maintained of getting back home to Kansas. You must maintain of getting to your destiny no matter what. Where there's pain, if you need counsel, seek it. If you need to go to see a certified physician, seek it. You do what you need to do to address what you're currently faced with, but do not release or let go of your dream. Have you ever met someone who have experienced tragedy, setbacks, one after the other, but their countenance and their conversation was always focused on the success of getting to the place that they have dreamed about? No matter what, you need to Google successful men and women and listen to their stories. Or better yet, you need to start journaling, if you haven't, your own story. And for those who are journaling, read your own stories. Read your testimonies. Read your own success stories. Why? Because those success stories are so beneficial when you're in a place of setback. They're going to remind you of where you're going. Everybody's with me. All right, great. Let's keep it moving. Now, once you get yourself together in your head, after you've experienced that trauma, in many instances, the situation can get worse before it gets better. The thing I loved about this picture when I found it, it just gave the words Yellow Brick Road, even though literally this picture reflects she is in major distress. But it doesn't matter. We have to look beyond what we see. You and I've got to remember, before we were in our mom and dad's womb, not our dad's, our mom's womb, before our mom and dad got together, the destiny was already established. It was already determined. This here situation that you're currently in, expressed by life, should never, ever stop you. Ever, ever. I need you to give pause to that. Remember when we looked at the wellness wheel and I identified that there is a spiritual component that must be balanced and in place? Sometimes when you are so intense, when life is so intense and distressful, you have to get quiet. You have to go and meditate and get quiet and close your eyes and just bring everything to a pause so that you can rejuvenate. Remember my illustration of when we are sharpening the lead pencil. Life is sharpening you right now. Might not feel like it. It might not look like it, but you are being sharpened and the character is being developed, and you're able to get quiet more and more efficiently, and more and more efficiently you're able to become creative in your thought. How do I get this done? How do I press beyond this place? You can do it. You can do it. You get quiet and you pray. Ask for help. Ask him. I refer to him as the Lord. You may refer to him as Jehovah. You may refer to him as the man upstairs. What you and I know is that there is someone that is greater than us, who has the wherewithal, the love, the desire, the want to, the how to assist us in getting to our yellow brick road. You with me? All right, so now, we've gotten through the storm, we've gotten through the flood, we've gotten through the hurricane, we've gotten through the setback, and as you can see in this image, the yellow brick road is still visible, but there are some broken pieces. Not a problem. Now it's time to regroup. You and I must be very, 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 I can't say very enough, very careful at this juncture what comes out of our mouths. You must be very careful, and I, of what we hear. Very careful of who we're listening to, who we're getting direction and instructions from. Some people looking at this picture will think, oh, girl, there's too many broken pieces here. You might as well give this up. And someone else can come along and say, there are only a few broken pieces. You can work with this. Which person would you want to hear from at that moment? Even if you had no hope, when the second person walked up and said, there are only a few broken pieces here, you can do this. Their words will produce life to your need for resuscitation. Those words will resuscitate your thought process. Keep this imagery there. You're being resuscitated. They're telling you there are only a few broken pieces. You can do this. And so now it's time to regroup. Now it's time to re-strategize. Now it's time for that mentor, having those counsel conversations. How do you suggest? How do you recommend? Who do you recommend? You will be amazed by the information that you will receive just because you choose not to give up. Allow the broken pieces to become opportunities of success for you. Allow the broken pieces to bring the personal alignment and the professional alignment together and intertwine and create the bridge that is necessary to keep you on track to get to your yellow brick road. You with me? Bottom line, at this juncture, now you must stay focused. All right, here we go. So here it seems to be an image of normality. You see Dorothy? She is walking with Toto. It looks like she's got crowd support. She's no longer just by herself. But if you recognize that there is now a red brick road. Be careful that you don't embrace a counterfeit. Be very slow to speak before you listen to the entire presentation. What do you mean, Freddie? Someone can present to you a lot of bells and whistles that may suggest to get you to your yellow brick road. But you must be sure that you stay focused with the last set of instructions that you receive to maintain and to obtain your yellow brick road. Perhaps what's presented to you is not for the season or the time that you are building your yellow brick road. It may be for another time. It may be for your long-term strategic goals and plans. So be very mindful that you don't be taken off the path that you're on as you pursue to receive success and to obtain success as you walk through this process in maintaining and let's see, when I say maintaining, I'm talking about the progressiveness. Yeah, the progressiveness that you have developed up until this point. You want to maintain that progressive thinking, critical thinking, and you cannot be strategic in your thought process until you're critical in your thought process, moving with tenacity, moving with focus, moving with intention, moving with the intent to get to point B with nothing deferring, nothing interrupting your progress and process. You understand what I'm saying? So let me kind of bring it home to this juncture. Personal and professional alignment. You have your anchors in place and you've been building on them through this process. And you have your mentors and your professional connections in place. You want to maintain both through this process. Even though you're no longer underwater, even though you're able to breathe and exhale, you want to still maintain both. Because remember, you don't want talent to take you someplace that character can't keep you. So you got to make sure that both sides of this process are balanced and both sides are being oiled and both sides are being massaged and both sides are being groomed so that you don't get off and become imbalanced in this process. Make sense? Excellent. Let's keep going. Ooh, you see the sun? Do you see the sun? Do you see the structure of this yellow brick road? Do you see the green grass? Do you see the stars? Here you are. You're at a place where there is continuity of your yellow brick road. There's continuity of accomplishments and continuity of success and continuity of development. So here at this place, you have to remember how you got here, the help that you received, the spiritual development help, the intellectual assistance, the environmental, the social, the mentor, the association. You want to make sure that you remember all of the help that you received in developing your Yellow Brick Road Dream Big process that brings you to this place. You want to remember the individuals that you are pulling up, and you want to remember the individuals that are pulling you up. You want to share your processes. Don't ever have a closed hand, because actually when we are personally developing and professionally developing in the same vein, we can't have a closed hand. You won't be able to. You will want to tell others how to do this. You will want to share with others how you were successful in getting through those trenches, getting through those dark days, getting through those meager days, getting through those days where you weren't sure you were going to get through. You want to be able to share that with others. Why is that important? Because that's a part of our destiny. Our destiny was not just to reach our goals of success, but our destiny is also to bring people along with us. If you look at the George Frasers again, if you look at the Oprah Winfreys, if you look at the Bill Gates of the world, if you look at the individuals that are in your circle who you are literally watching or benefiting from, how they're just giving and pouring back information, you'll get the picture. And the big picture is successful people, one, they always leave clues, and two, they always want to bring you along. The deal is, only you and I can decide if we're ready for the ride. Because once we put our hand to the plow for this ride, if we look back, that means we're not ready. We're not fit for the ride. The ride to success is not an event. The ride to success and the ride of success is a journey. It is a journey. We're going to be taking off stuff throughout this journey with consistency. Let me give you an example. Years ago, I used to love pork. Loved it. I'm not speaking against anyone who loves it. Of course, you continue to eat it. I'm just talking about me. This was something I never, ever imagined that I would no longer enjoy. But when the time in my process, in my journey, presented itself, that it was time for me to let it go for personal development reasons, I was obedient to that process. And today I am the better for it physically, which is important to both the personal and the professional alignment in moving in this process of success. Everybody's with me. Great, so let's keep going. And everything that I've shared with you today, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. Both the personal and the professional alignment, they must be intertwined. Must. They cannot be separate and apart. They cannot be compartmentalized and we be successful. Because you want success to last forever. You don't want it to be in a moment or in a vacuum. And it may be in different shapes and sizes, success that is. However, you still want it to last. So that means that you and I must be cognizant that our personal and professional lives must blend at all times to reach success. Everybody's with me? Great. Let's keep going. Now, these are people, including myself, whose stories are phenomenal to me. I have national and internationally known pictures here, and I have personal pictures here of people who has made impact in my life in ensuring that regardless to what drawbacks, circumstances, tragedies may be, may surface, may pop up unexpectedly, it doesn't matter. They cannot, one, Many, cannot stop us. The tragedies cannot stop us. We must be focused. Our whys must be big. Your why must be big. You must look in the mirror and tell yourself, girl, boy, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. That's what you have to tell yourself. You can do it. If you have questions, listen, I want to hear from you. I want to connect with you. I want to be able to assist you if that's what you need. So I'm going to give you some information, some easy access ways to me. First of all, you can look me up on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Fredricia, Fredricia, Cunegin, Cunegin. Or you can go to my company website, www, of course, hrnmotionllc.com. Or you can always reach out to me at 240-838-7142. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to having an opportunity to connect with you, to be a part of your journey, to be a part of your success, to come to your celebration party, to come to your open houses, to be a part of your graduation, to be able to celebrate with you on the new babies, all of that, all of that. Success comes in various forms, but it's still success nonetheless. It has been a pleasure talking with you, taking your hand. Be sure to stay on course and follow your yellow brick road. Have an outstanding day.